No guns in there.
No guns in there?
19-year-old farmer Dylan Rounds vanished in the Utah desert, leaving behind a running truck, his boots, and silence. Days later, a neighbor with a criminal past started telling stories that didn't add up. What happened to Dylan Rounds?
He's a friend of mine.
Sure. You don't get rid of friends.
That is how neighbor James David Brenner spoke while walking deputies through the grain shed near Lucin, Utah, the very place where investigators later confirmed Dylan's disappearance ended. Dylan vanished on May 28, 2022, after moving his grain truck ahead of a storm. Dylan Rounds, 19, is a young farmer from Idaho. Dylan bought this farm with his grandfather in 2019 and lives alone in a camper, pursuing his farming dream. When he could not be reached, his mother, Candace Cooley, reported him missing on May 30. The largest search in Box Elder County history began with more than 1,000 volunteers, search dogs, drones, and the FBI assisting. It was the kind of massive search operation you'd expect to see in a criminal documentary. Surprisingly, the townspeople were surprised, which raised concerns.
I told that kid to stay the hell out of Montello.
But that whole town, though, just hits a place.
Some other guy pointed a gun in my freaking face.
Dylan's shoes found near a pile of soil containing forensic traces linked to both Dylan and Brenner. Search crews, helicopters, and Dylan's family initially focused on a known local troublemaker, Chase Venstra. Meanwhile, Brenner, living without permission beside Dylan's farm, kept inserting himself, pointing fingers and insisting Dylan had been bragging about money. Yes, and those are clear signs. Going back to Jim Brenner's comments, the sheriff felt curious and strange. Brenner's friend Donald Hatley admitted Brenner hid several restricted weapons at his home right after Dylan disappeared. The Box Elder County Sheriff's Department took the lead, with support from the FBI, Utah State Police, and volunteers. Look at the red Ford. The man in the gray shirt is his father, worried that his son's gun in the car is gone.
No guns in there.
No guns in there?
Like he said, he has a 40 that he puts in the door or the side.
Did you just pop the back window?
I broke it out.
Dylan's mother then shared an unpleasant encounter between her son and a local criminal. A worrying piece of information for the police, but also a clue.
What does he farm for out here?
Himself.
What does he farm for? Grain or?
Yeah, grain.
Grain?
Yeah.
James stopped me when you guys went around me, was talking to me. He said that you knew something about a run-in he had with a guy named Chase?
Yeah, on Wednesday, but they told me that's normal, so...
I know a lot of the people that he named from Montello are not good people. I only know of them from what people say.
Is the person the original neighbor mentioned?
I left here about 1:30, went over to Don's, and I was there until about 9 o'clock at night. And when I come back, that truck was here. It's just one thing after another. But he's a friend of mine.
Sure. You don't get rid of friends. Those two boots out there, they're brand new. Like they've only been out there. They're the same color leather as your boots, and they're the same ones he wears. So we're just curious of why his boots would be out there. Same size he wears. They've only been out there probably for a day or two.
He might have threw them out there.
Yeah, maybe he did. Well, does he know that's a dump out there? He does?
He's got electronics and shit in there. Maybe, I don't know. Because like I say, he was here. He had to have been here. Brought the truck here.
Yeah. Huh, that would make sense.
Brenner and his friend Donald Hatley arrive and appear helpful. The scene looks ordinary, but if you've watched enough criminal documentaries, you know this is where the story turns. Come along to the interview with the bar owner. You will know why this is an important clue that helps the police move from a normal missing person situation to a more complicated case.
We're trying to find a kid named Dylan Rounds.
Oh, I know. We got locals out here looking for him too. Oh, they went out that way because he was out to Lucin.
I was hearing Kurt say something about he had a confrontation with that Chase kid.
Yeah, that's who I'm looking for. Where do we find him?
I'm kind of worried about it because if Dylan did walk back from where he left the grain truck and Chase got a hold of him vulnerable, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Walking back, something bad could have happened because there was a bad injury with a kid just out here that got his face smashed in by the butt of a gun. And the whole camper shell was all bashed in and stuff.
Where do we find Chase? Is he from here? Does he live here?
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't.
He's from around here. This is where he hangs out.
He was staying out here, and he was a
Where was he staying at?
big thief in town, and so everybody was after him, and they finally told him to get the hell out of town and stay
Of course, he came back because he was just seen out here.
You think the police suspect is Chase? You're probably wrong because there's someone else who's more suspicious. Dylan's family shares new details, including Robert Ailes giving Chase a ride the day Dylan disappeared. This is Robert's mother. Officers detain Robert. He admits transporting Chase, but denies involvement and claims ignorance about Dylan's whereabouts.
So you said that Chase had taken guns from somebody. Did he admit to you, like, where he got his guns?
No, this is what I thought he got arrested for the first time. What he was in jail for when I came back. I asked Chase that. I was like, hey man, I heard you got arrested. He's like, nah, that's just all Montello gossip, blah, 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 right? So I'm kind of weary after giving him a ride. I tried to show one of my mom's friends, been out there in the community for a long time. He gave me his scenario. He thinks Chase did it too, okay? Now, I don't know the time frames because I'm not good with time like I told you guys. I did the best I could by contacting the store lady and asking her what day I gave Chase a ride. You know, because I didn't even know what day I gave Chase a ride. I didn't even know what day the kid came up missing. I didn't even know there was a kid missing until the Nevada police came knocking on our door wanting to search our residence. You know what I mean? And that's the truth.
That night, someone appears to enter Dylan's trailer. A handgun suddenly reappears by the bathroom sink after relatives had just cleaned there, clear signs of active cover-up.
Okay, the shotgun is in a house in Rigby. Okay. That is my grandfather's that I bought, and he has a room up there, and that was the 40. It's not in here. We looked in his camper, didn't find it. No key fob for the truck, so when I broke the window, the alarm went off, we undid the battery. No key fob. We looked in his camper and all the cupboards and stuff, looked in the bathroom, nothing. My mother came here, she has real bad arthritis, my sister was here, we were all out searching. She used the bathroom. Dylan hadn't flushed it, just in here, it's really nasty. So my sister went in and cleaned it, still no gun. Later, my son and JD came in and the gun was sitting on a sink. It's outside of the bathroom, but right by the bathroom door where the toilet and the shower is the sink, but it's not in the bathroom. The gun was sitting right there with the clip outside of it. Okay. Sitting there. So my son and JD didn't think much of it. They grabbed the gun, put it in my truck. I didn't think much of it. Oh, they found the gun. I don't know. Then we started realizing that it wasn't there when my sister cleaned the bathroom for my mom to use and all that, and it was there.
And James Brenner, 59-year-old vagrant with a history of using firearms against people in the 1980, 10 years in prison. And the fact that he lived next to Dylan's farm was enough to arouse police suspicion. This is Brenner. He still wanders around and doesn't know this time the police have a warrant for his arrest.
What could I do for you guys?
Well, we just had a couple things we wanted to talk to you about. We're still trying to figure stuff out, you know, and just have you guys heard or seen anything these days? Anything new?
This trash over here. I know names. I know people. I know nobody seems to want to listen to me.
I get you a seat.
They're the ones coming over stealing.
Are they?
Yeah. Chase Vestra and Robert Aviles are the one that robbed Michael Moore up here. But everybody keeps saying, we need to find Dylan. You need to kick friggin' rat's nuts over there open, and people are going to start talking. That's the only way you're going to find out about Dylan.
There's a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to let you know about it right now.
From Maryland?
So we're going to pick you up, take you to jail with us.
Oh, God damn it.
So what I want you to do, I know before you talk, you place your hands on your head for me. Interlock your fingers, okay?
After Brenner's continued testimony implicating Chase and Robert, he was taken to the police station. Chase is also arrested unrelated warrant.
The warrant has been issued, and we're obligated by law when we found that service. I don't know if you realize this, but there's other bigger problems going on over there than this.
I'm here to talk to you about that warrant. You just got brought in on that warrant.
Okay.
We would like to talk to you about the other things that are going on out there.
we got kids. I understand that. If I know him better than you do. I work for him. That's why you're one of the reasons why you're sitting there. Yeah, because I know you know him. Dylan used to go in the bar and he'd been bragging about how much money he's making. Dylan never carried money on him. Bought everything with a credit card. But if he did have $1 in his wallet, he wouldn't give it up. And I think this is a strong arm robbery. Somebody thought they see this little 5'5" kid, and they think they figured, we're going to get this guy. We're going to rob this guy. We're going to intimidate him. Dylan don't intimidate him. With the strong arm robbery, who do you believe did? Chase and Robert Avilas. Is there any reason anyone would say you did it? If I did this, I'd be one sick son of a bitch. Well, there's got to be somebody that's some sick son of a bitch somewhere. What about Don? I've known Don for over 2 years, and Don's gone out of his way to help Dylan just like I have. Another one, Robert Lee, just did 10 years in prison for strong arm robbery. And lo and behold, about 3 weeks ago, a fellow from Salt Lake that bought 10 acres of land over in Montello, 2 guys went into his trailer, beat him up with a pistol, whipped him, robbed him, took his cell phone, and made it so his vehicle wouldn't run. He had to walk into town to call the police. There's a lot of shit going on in Montello. Is he the one that they talk about being pistol whipped with the butt of a gun? Is that the one? Is that somebody different? I think it's the same person.
Detectives place him in the cell above Brenner, hoping for a slip. Chase tries to bargain. He wanted the information he knew in exchange for his freedom, but that was completely pointless.
I came to talk to you.
Ken's called you.
She actually didn't call me. Ross called me and said that you were looking to talk about Brenner. Was it Brenner and just the case, basically, right?
Yeah, they put me in there. I'm in the cell above Brenner. Okay. I've got to talk to him. I've talked to other cellmates. I know a lot.
Okay.
I know a lot. I can put this thing to bed for you.
Well, I mean, honestly, to be straightforward with you, I can't do anything about the charges. Me myself, right? They got to be federal, right?
No, they're state.
Oh, so I didn't even know that there were any. So
I want them charges dropped, and I'll solve this case for you.
All right. I'm not able to do it, so I just came to talk to you to see if you had something you wanted to tell me.
I've got everything to tell you, but when I'm out of these chains and in my clothes,
well, and that's what I'm saying. I can't make that kind of deal with you, so
that's
it's fine if you don't want to.
That's what I want.
That's fine.
I just want to be left alone. I want, like, we got an ultrasound on my new baby tomorrow. I want to go be there with her. This is her first baby. I'm applying for a job with the state out there.
I hope you get it.
I'm done with this thing. I've been dragged through the mud with this thing with Dylan. I know how it happened, where it happened, when. I know what was used and where it's at.
Okay.
I put this whole thing to bed for you guys.
Well, okay. And
I hate to.
I wish you could, but there's not anything I can offer you.
Yeah, I hate to be that way with you, but I've got to look out for me.
Officers find a burial site that contains dogs, not Dylan.
Somebody came in and opened it. It wasn't like this. This wasn't here either. Oh.
Okay, go ahead and step away.
There's something dead in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed it, poor baby. He killed it.
Yeah, so this is the only one that you found, huh? Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't like this yesterday, though.
Okay.
Somebody came and opened it. Yeah.
So how did it look like?
This was flat. So this was on top, and then there was another wood.
Hey, man. So there is a grave, but there appears to be maybe 2 dogs, maybe 2 or 3 dogs.
Yeah, that's not a human.
Yeah, 2 or 3 dogs inside. It looks like it's been here for some time. But the person, the RP, is telling me that it didn't look like this yesterday, that somebody had come over and...
Yeah.
opened it up for some reason. I do have some footprints around this too.
Brenner eventually admitted involvement, describing an argument in the shed during the early morning hours that escalated into a physical struggle. The evidence stack finally locks.
Oh, I'll tell you something. Okay. I really don't think it has anything to do with anything. You guys found ammunition and stuff with Jim's.
Yeah.
They using white powder and fits in the stick. Yeah. But he figured that would be a reason to poke you or so to speak or say whatever. So he brought us black powder rifles over black powder.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Where are those?
I put one behind my bed, my bedroom. The other one's laid up in the corner next to the table on the couch.
When did you bring them? After Dylan?
Oh yeah, definitely after.
Why?
Basically safety. Until last time, they had him in holding for over a year, and when he got out, everything he had was gone. Everything.
I can't ask you what's going through Jim's head at that time, but what's going through yours when he brings you his rifles and a 6-gun?
Honestly, it looked like he was scared that, he was going to be detained for 6 months or a year and lose everything he had. He said, no, but he had no idea what happened to his horses last time.
Okay.
All his gun, everything he owned disappeared.
So why do you think he's going to get detained, or why does he think he's going to get detained for 6 months?
Just because he's a felon and he could be held.
Yeah. So he knows he's a felon, he knows he shouldn't have them, and so he...
Well, I don't know. According to him, a black powder primitive weapon is not considered a firearm. Now, if he'd brought me a firearm, I'd have said no.
Okay. So sometime after, Dylan, do you remember how long after? I mean, it's only been 3 weeks now.
That seems like forever. I wish that kid had just come walking down the road starting to kick his mud.
I wish too. But the longer this goes, the less likely that looks.
Yeah.
Brenner's mobile phone location shows travel toward the pond the day Dylan vanished. Recovered phone. Divers retrieve Dylan's mobile phone. On it is video showing Brenner wearing a stained shirt while handling an object resembling a weapon. That single video clip could have been the climax of any criminal documentary, except this was no reenactment. Brenner offers a deal. He will reveal the location where Dylan was hidden. In spring 2024, he leads law enforcement to Dylan's remains in the Lucin Desert, so well hidden that searchers had driven over the site before.
Mr. Broad, how are you doing, sir? Good, thank you. So they had said that you wanted us to come back, that you had more information?
Yeah.
Or did you have information before that you just didn't give us all of it?
No, I didn't really have a whole lot of information then.
Okay.
I got plenty of information now. I got information that would probably help maybe even keep him cutting the deal that he wants to cut the deal with.
Okay. On
his right hand, nobody has noticed, he's got a bite mark.
Really?
He's got a bite from Dylan rounds. The 22 is what killed Dylan. Two shots.
22?
Yeah, the 22.
Did he tell you that?
Yeah.
The story tell you that?
Like 3 days ago.
Go through that.
He said it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. He was in there taking shit, and then he heard a diesel truck drive by the place he was staying in. And when he got out there, he had his 45, a gun that he put in a fold-over holster. And Dylan had picked it up off the sawhorses that he'd thrown his stuff all around, moved it up so he could put the truck in the
into the shed. Okay.
Yeah. And Dylan was holding the 45, and he said he got really pissed off at him and started yelling at him and telling him get the fuck out of there. And Dylan took the gun and fired it right beside his ear. That's why he can't hear out of his right side ear. And he said he grabbed for the gun and was fighting for it. He said they ended up on the ground, and Dylan ended up shooting himself in the leg with the 45. And then he said that while they were fighting, the gun got fired like 2 or 3 times. He said there's a bullet hole in the side of the building out there you can see. He said when you guys was out there talking to him and standing in the shed or something, standing out there, he said he was sitting there looking at it. And then
He showed me a scar on his thumb too, where he had stuck his hand in the gun that was trying to keep Dylan from firing it again, but he was clicking it, and his whole right hand was damaged at one time.
Okay.
But the bite mark is evident, very seeable, and the body is somewhere right there close by. He said he's seen tire marks over it where you guys have been driving. Somebody's been driving on it.
Did he give you any indication of where? There's a lot of country out there.
Yeah, he said it's in the high desert.
Did he say that it was close to where he killed him?
Yeah, it's close. It's close somewhere there
where he killed him.
He gave like a 25-mile circumference.
Oh, it's quite a ways.
Yeah.
Okay, so he heard Dylan drive by in his truck.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan had backed the truck into the grain shed.
No, he said the truck was still parked out.
So it wasn't backed in yet.
Yeah, no, it wasn't backed in, and that's when they had the fight. They had the fight and they were going on in there. He said that the round on the gun got turned. He said he heard it turn.
Like it was a revolver?
Yeah, it was a revolver. He said he got to the chance where Dylan had let quit biting him on his wrist. He had latched onto him, and he said he got up and he took off out, and that's when he got the 22. Dylan told him to bring his ass back in there, or he was going to shoot the horse. The horse was standing outside.
Into the grain shed?
Yeah.
Talking about? Okay.
The horse was standing out there eating grain out of the back of the truck.
And then, from what you're saying, did he run back to the trailer and get the 22?
He said it was behind the bags, some grain bags. He said he took 3 shots at him, and they're all headshots. He said one of them grazed Dylan on the side of the face. He pointed just like this to the side of his face, so it could have been red. I couldn't tell you if it was right side or left side. But then he said 2 more shots and shot Dylan in the head.
And that killed him?
Yeah.
And then what did he do?
Then he said he burned all of his clothes. He said after he took care of everything, he burned all the clothes.
On May 15th, 2024, James Brenner, 61, pleaded guilty in Utah's 1st District Court as part of a plea agreement to resolve 3 separate cases. The first-degree felony count of aggravated murder was reduced to second-degree murder, while the third-degree felony count of indignity to human remains was dismissed. Brenner also agreed to reveal the location of Round's remains. Thanks to his information, police found what was confirmed to be Dylan's remains near Lucin in Box Elder County on April 9. Blair Wardle, deputy prosecutor for Box Elder County, said he worked closely with Round's parents to review the plea agreement and proposed sentence. Under the agreement, the parties agreed to recommend mandatory prison terms, with the sentences for each count to run one after another under court order. "We've waited a long time for this moment," said Round's mother, Candace Cooley. "It was a big surprise, and it was a relief." However, she also acknowledged 1 to 15 years in prison is not justice. It is not, but it is the law. In the end, justice came quietly. Not with a chase or a shootout, but with a confession inside a cold interrogation room. Dylan's family waited nearly 2 years for answers, and even now the sentence feels far too light. But for them, finding their son meant finally being able to breathe again. This content has been produced for informative and educational purposes. It does not seek to humiliate or criticize anyone involved. Given the rise of political division and misinformation, showing